Hey Anonymai, welcome to a video. We are coin roll hunting tonight, and what we have are brand new Salt River Bay, Philadelphia quarters. Let me show you one with a P on it. And as you may suspect, we are looking for W's, but very happy about the possibility to have brand new BU rolls. So we're gonna go ahead and dig in, see what we can find. Hopefully there's some jackpots. This one's kind of split. If you're going through brand new rolls like this, I recommend you wash your hands. Bare hands don't hurt anything, but try not to touch the obverse or the reverse. P. P. And enjoy the process, it's fun. When you're done with it, you get a brand new BU roll, even if you don't find any W's. So this is roll number 1. Tipped right over. Feel free to grab one if you want to go through one. My friend is here.
Grandpa.
Gramps.
Gramps, is that what it was? I couldn't remember whether it was Gramps or Grandpa.
And for P's, these are pretty nice strikes. A lot of the Philadelphia coin that I see are very frosty. They don't have a lot of luster, and these are struck pretty well. They're not as mirror-like as the Denvers are sometimes, but they do look good. Now we're hoping for a W here. I haven't seen any pop up on eBay, but I haven't looked that hard either. The last time around with the bat quarters and the Weir Farm quarters, people were selling them right off the bat in the $40 range, and that was ridiculous. So if you get the itch to buy a W quarter, don't spend $40 on one. Wait until prices stabilize, and all of these tend to come down into the $8 to $13 range. So be patient. None in my roll.
It's funny how you wish that P was turning into a W.
Yeah.
Just like you do with the D's.
You start seeing things. My math on these was that roughly 1 in 200 ought to be a W, depending on how they're mixed. I backed into that by taking an average year of production for the quarters and then dividing it by the 2 million.
Which is 1/3, right, of what was struck?
It was like 1.5 billion for a year.
Oh, wow.
But divide it by 5, I think was my math, gets you
Have you been to any of the mints to actually watch them do this?
I haven't. I would like to go to one. The Denver Mint, I heard, is a better tour. They have age limits on who's allowed in there, so even if we went to Colorado with the baby, somebody would have to stay back with the baby. They don't let kids under 7, I think, into the tour.
It is impressive how this can be done on such a repetitive basis and how strong a die can be.
They say the average die goes about 100,000 strikes. It's incredible.
And they have one in backup ready for the replacement.
Yep. Considering how many, or what kind of metal this is. Nickel. Nickel's a really hard metal. They used it for armor plating in World War II.
It's one of the elements, I think, too, that's in train rails.
Oh, okay, to harden up the steel.
Uh-huh. I used to sell alloys a long time ago. One of the guys that worked for BNSF called me up that I was selling to already. He says, you know where I can get some welding rod for train, for the tracks, for the, for the lack of a better word. And I said, well, what are you looking for? He says, nichromane. Nichromane.
I don't even know what that is.
Nickel, chromium, and manganese.
Manganese, okay.
Yeah.
Manganese is one of the metals they use in those golden small dollars that they make, the Sacagawea dollars.
I'm a little bit slower at this than you are, but that's okay.
Well, so far not producing.
Not on this roll either.
Oh, I found a 2019. It'd be funny if it was a W. It's not, it's a P, but it would have been funny. Perhaps they didn't even pump any of these W's out yet. I don't know. I don't know how they distribute these. Nothing yet?
Nope.
Here's a darker one. It's probably circulated. Yeah, 1990.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna, I have 3 rolls of bats uncirculated. I'll probably put 2 of them back into circulation, just keep a couple. Put 1 back.
Those bats were such a tease.
Yeah, they were.
You'd find a brand new roll, get excited, hoping that you'd find a W, and there was nothing in them. I never found any of the Weir Farm
I haven't either.
BU, and so they say that there was a double shot in those of the bats in the Weir Farm, but I never experienced it myself. All P's so far. Boy, I sure hope we don't get skunked on an 8-roll purchase.
Yeah, I'll never be able to top the feeling of running into those 4 in that one roll.
Yeah, he found a roll of Guam 2019 War in the Pacific quarters, and it had 4 W's in it.
I texted you 1 at a time.
That's intense. All right, we're getting down to it.
Right?
We
They
did.
really,
Go ahead.
they are satiny, more satin than the bright. There's a nice one.
I don't know what Denver's doing differently, but they get a lot more mirror on their strikes. There are a lot of really nice quarters in here, though, so I am going to take my rolls, my portion, and gem hunt, pull out 1 or 2 really fine ones and put them in little 2x2 Mylars. I don't know how many rolls I'll keep. I could keep 4, I guess, if they're this nice, but by the time I pluck a few out, we have a few circulated examples, and it won't fill up 4 rolls.
And when you're sitting on a lot of quarters too, you always hope and wish that you knew enough that what is wrong with one of them in this bunch that I got that I should give a lot of looking at.
Yeah.
And you could spend a lot of time doing that.
There was a pretty popular dye chip that everybody was chasing on the San Antonio quarters at the end of 2019. I think it turned out to be pretty common though, so it's not going to be valuable.
Yeah.
I had a roll and I think it had 3 or 4 in it. Just one roll. Well, one more roll. Do you want it?
Nope, go ahead. I still got a few more on this one. Gotta get the line just right.
I think we're about to get skunked. We haven't found one yet. I don't expect to. There's a circulated one. 1986.
When I was at, I went to Bank of America today, up in Liberty. I had 6 rolls I was gonna just get cash for. But I got cash for half. Looked at the other ones. There were quite a few of the Salt River in the mixed.
It was already mixed in
Yeah,
with circulated.
yeah.
I looked it up out of curiosity today before we got started, and these were released on June 1st. So they've been circulating for 6 weeks. Which in my world is not a very long time.
No.
My bank has a pretty large lag from when they're released to when I start seeing them.
Because it was the same thing. It was like 2 months, I think, at the Hy-Vee where I was getting them, and I was many times not finding anything, and then boom.
That's just a nice one. Sometimes you see one and it's gorgeous. All right, I'm down to
That's it.
like 7 or 8 here.
Loomis.
Well, we've been had. Oh well. Hey,
well.
we have some beautiful BU quarters. We're going to divvy them up, take them home, sock them away. You never know when there might be an error that comes out, and we'll have to comb through them again and see if we got something valuable. But until then, click the like button, subscribe. That's the easiest way to follow us. Leave a comment down below, and we will see you in the next video. Happy hunting.